Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Tuesday, April 25th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. We normally do Mosseri Monday, but today we're doing it on Tuesday, so let's just go with that. First question, is it bad for reach if a reel is not made or cut inside the Instagram app? This is a very good question. We've talked about this a couple of times recently, but everyone uses different kinds of editing programs. I like to do it on the computer in Adobe Premiere. Maybe you use Final Cut, maybe you use CapCut. What's the difference? Here's the answer.
No, it's not actually, contrary to popular belief. Now, if a video you create has a logo mark or a word mark on top of it, regardless of what that word mark is, yes, that will affect your reach. But if you just shoot on your camera or use another editing tool and you post it to Instagram, that should not affect your reach at all.
And there you have it. Make sure there's no watermark on your video at all, and you should be totally fine. Next question. Why do sites without original photos and reels get all the reach on Explore? They're talking about accounts that feature other people's content because it's great. Maybe you had a video that really did well and somebody like Barstool Sports will reach out to you and ask if they can share your video. Here's his answer.
I don't think that's always the case, but that is sometimes the case, and it's something that we're actively working to correct. We want to make sure that the creator of a photo or of a video gets full credit, and therefore, when they post something, they should really get that reach, not an aggregator who just goes around looking for content. It's not that aggregators aren't valuable, they are, but we do think the most amount of value should flow back to the original creator, so we're working on that.
I don't think that's an easily fixable problem because the account that made the video is likely much smaller than that aggregator account. So they would never necessarily get that reach unless that video or photo performed so well in the algorithm. But they're not starting with a large base of followers the way the aggregator is. So I don't think that's an easily solvable problem. The next question is an idea. Can you increase the expiration time of Instagram stories? I would say that the concept of stories being 24 hours is good unless, have you ever had it where someone shares a video with you and maybe that story has been up for 23 hours and they share the story with you and by the time you look at it, the story is expired. That is super frustrating. That's the only time I wish stories lasted more than 24 hours. When someone shares a video with me and it's gone by the time I go to watch it. Here's the answer.
We've looked into this a couple of times. It doesn't tend to change too much in the small tests that we have run, but in general, we want stories to be a very low pressure place to actually share what you're up to. And we worry that if we extend the timeline that stories are around for, that people will start to be less comfortable and then share less and then use stories less.
I understand and agree with that logic. I just still think there needs to be a solution when someone shares a story with you that's going to expire very soon. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about ranking differently based on which time of the day you post and using trending tools on Reels to create your own trends. So stick around for that.
This episode is brought to you by Michigan Economic Development Corporation. In Michigan, you can have both a rewarding career and a quality lifestyle, with plentiful career opportunities in world-changing, innovating industries, from electric vehicles to clean energy to biotech, with room for advancement no matter where you are in your career. Plus, Michigan offers a welcoming, beautiful, affordable, and inclusive community for all. Live your best life. You can in Michigan. Visit themichiganlife.org.
And we're back. Okay, next question. What's your favorite tool to create Reels? My favorite tool to create Reels is Adobe Premiere Pro. Here's Adam's.
I'm really excited what this stacked timeline UI can do to make it easier to create Reels in the future. You could imagine not only being able to separate the video and the audio, but you could have lines for your stickers, for your text, for anything else that you're using to make it much easier to see and manage all of the elements in a reel in one place and then adjust them as you see fit.
The next question has to do with the algorithm. Do you rank different stuff at different times of day? I think this is a confusing question in the sense that the person's trying to understand how the algorithm works, of course. And when you go into your analytics and you see what time of day your followers are on, you might think that that impacts what they see based on those times. Here's his answer.
It's important to understand that we don't rank content before you come to Instagram. When you come to Instagram, when you open up the app, that's when we look at all the things that you might see and we try to figure out with an educated guess what is most interesting to you. Now we do consider what time of day it is, so if you tend to like certain types of things in the morning and different things in the evening, that's possibly going to be reflected in your ranking, but it's not something that we're explicitly setting out to do.
Okay, so that's not how it works at all. Next question, should we use the trending tools on Reels or create our own trends? Here's the answer.
It's certainly not required, but I think if you're feeling blocked and you actually want to make something, going to trending is a good way to get inspired, to see what's going on out there, what's working, and maybe come up with your own riff on one of those ideas.
I personally do not think that that really answered the question, but okay. Last one we're going to talk about today, how do you add songs to feed posts? This is a fairly recent addition to be able to add songs to feed posts. Maybe it's been about a year or so. Here's his answer.
So you can add a song to a photo while going through the photo upload flow. So after you pick the photo and do any of the edits you want, when you get to the screen where you have a caption, if you look down, you'll see an option to just add music right there. Check it out.
Okay, that is going to do it for today's episode. Before I finish, I want to give a shout out to Ololade, who sent me a message to let me know that the theme music at the end was only playing in the left speaker. I hit a slider accidentally, didn't realize it. A lot of times I listen to the show on my smart speaker, not my headphones, so I missed that the rap song was only coming through on the left side. Anyway, it's sorted now. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to come back tomorrow for more social media news.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave. Without a break or a pit stop, still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you've got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.